Hey there YouTube, today's lesson was requested by one of my beautiful Patreons, Chase Alexander Hunter, a gentleman and a scholar. Asked for something dark and Spanish, a full tune, and not too much on the high E string. I am notorious for spending a lot of guitar time on the high E string. There are reasons for that, but ask and you shall receive. So this is for you, Chase, but I've tried to put together something nice and simple that will be suitable for pretty much anyone of any playing level. The way that it can be suitable for people of any playing level is that we're going to start off nice and simple, and I'm going to give you a really basic fundamental thing you can play, and then I'm going to show you towards the end of the lesson how you can make it more complicated and how you can make it more unique to yourself, ways to improvise, ways to make variations and things like that. So I'm going to play for you quickly. What I'm going to play for you now is basically what I'm going to tab out on my Patreon page. And then towards the second half of the lesson will be more me encouraging you to improvise based on this structure. So I'm going to play for a second and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Cool. So that's a nice little kind of little Spanish type piece. Basically, I'm playing an E. It's hard to say if it's E minor or an E major because I don't specifically state the chord style. So that's interesting in itself. Some kind of E Spanish, some kind of A, back to E, and then we're doing like a B7, kind of a Spanish style B7 where we move the B7 up to a C7, and then back to a B7. It's almost a bit bluesy in that it's kind of going 1, 4, 1, 5, and back, or 5, 7, and back to the 1. I've never claimed my guitar lessons to be true flamenco or anything like that, quite the opposite. In fact, it's Spanish guitar inspired music or something like that. So let me just show you what I was doing then. Firstly, there's a pedal tone on the low E string. So my thumb, when we're on E, the thumb will always play the low E. When we're on A, the thumb will always play the A string. And when we're doing that B7 chord, the thumb will always play that B note. And when that B7 chord moves up to a C, you guessed it, the thumb will always play that C note. So the thumb is we call it a pedal tone. There's a repetitive, you can also call it a drone or a pedal tone. They're both essentially the same thing. The thumb is going to play that same note over and over and over. And I'm using my first finger to select single notes. So I'm going to ignore the low E string for now. You understand, you play it basically before every note. Before every note, what I'm about to show you, you play the low E string. So it's an E note, second fret of the D string, then open, then third fret, and then second fret. So they're the notes. E, D, C, B, with a low E in between. That's a descending lick. Now we're going to do ascending. So we're going to go A, B, C, D. That's second half. A, B, C, D. 0, 2, 3, open. I'll play that for you one more time. Hopefully that makes sense. As I said, the tabs are on my Patreon. And then we do exactly the same thing on the A, so that makes it a bit easier because it's going to be identical. So, bonus. And it's kind of got that singing, chiming quality because the notes are moving, but the pedal note's saying the same. Lucky again. After you've played it all on the A, we can come back to the E and play the same thing identically again. And I was playing each of these twice, so what I just played then, I was repeating. So it was actually E for 2, A for 2, E for 2. And now we'll show you the B7. You might not know this chord. If you don't know it, it's a great chord. It's used a lot in blues, rock, classical. It's a very, very important chord, actually. I generally think of the B7 as the chord that leads back to the E. Whether that's a E major or E minor. B7, so from the A string, we're going 2, 1, 2, 0, 2. 2, 1, 2, 0, 2. That's a B7. And what I was doing, as I said before, the thumb is picking the low note, and the first finger is still picking the notes, and I'm just going up the string. So, thumb. Once again, I'm going to ignore the thumb because you understand it's played before every note. There's shells falling off this. I don't know why we have shells hanging on our balcony, but we do. It sounds like there's a wife involved there. First finger, well, fourth string, fourth, third, second, first, literally just following the strings. And then back, but because we've just played the first, we start with the second. Third, fourth, and back to the third. It just kind of goes da 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 da, and back one. So once again, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. If I play that with the thumb picking. So that's a kind of interesting, just simple, interesting picking pattern on the B7. It's your lucky day when we slide this chord up 1 fret. It's the same picking. Now when we slide this chord up 1 fret, it's got that open B string in it because the B string was open at the original position, and we're sliding it up 1 fret, and we're going to keep that open string ringing, but it's now going to create some kind of harmonic dissonance, which is very popular in Spanish guitar playing. A lot of great flamenco and Spanish guitar, but they're looking for those ultra, I often call them notes that are so ugly they're beautiful. There's one of them. So that's what we're doing there. We're literally moving that B7 up, and we're doing the same picking. And we're repeating. I hope I'm not going too fast or too slow for you. It's obviously tricky teaching on YouTube, trying to appeal to a broad range of players of varying skill and experience levels. So I'm doing my best. I hope that's making sense. Now, if you got to there, I hope you can walk away with a cool, interesting piece of music that you can go and play. And if you're still with me, thank you and congratulations for being still with me. Here we're going to talk about how you can take this and make it your own. One of the obvious things you can do when we go back to this E, oh yeah, and at the end I did that B7, and I'm just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just using the thumb and just gradually increasing the volume and intensity of the strum to give it a nice tension coming back. So that's kind of cool. Okay, one of the simple and obvious things you can do. I was doing a very basic kind of scale rundown. I was going, you know, E, D, C, B, A, B, C, D. Now at this stage of the lesson, I'm going to get a bit more, assuming you know a little bit more. What you can do that's quite obvious is change the order of the notes or introduce your own notes. So we've got this pedal note concept. You can use different E scales. You can run up, so if you stay on that note, you could run up. Do the same thing on the A. I think you get the point. That note choice variation is quite simple. When I did the B7, I gave you a nice simple picking pattern, but you could, if you can get the picker to go. So in this case, I'm going to keep the piccolo, the running man picado, either with 2 fingers or 3. I do have lessons on this, so I'm not going to teach you how to do that right now. You can find my picado lesson. You could use your thumb to pick that chord, move go up to the next chord. And then instead of just doing the basic 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we go. So that's a couple of very simple, basic, obvious variations you could do, changing the note order and changing the strumming or the picking on that B7 chord. I expect that if you've been following my YouTube for a while, I'd like to think you've got the ability and kind of musical intelligence to make your own variations and improvements on this simple little bit of a foundation that I've given you there. I thank you for watching. If you want the tabs or if you want basically the right to ask for specific lessons, please check out my Patreon. I'll keep a link in the comments. And I do read the comments as well. You can make requests in the comments as well. Obviously, give the Patreon a bit of a plug, but I also fully respect all the people here on YouTube. And I always do what I can to share whatever knowledge I might have with anyone who might be out there listening that might be interested. So thank you. It seems like you're interested if you got this far. I'll see you next time. Enjoy your playing.